Today we are going to learn how to embroider the Holiday City pattern for this ornament in the shape of a heart from my Christmas collection that I am designing this year. What makes this pattern so enjoyable are all these tiny elements that you need to embroider to create a festive Christmas scene. Fun fact, up to this day, this is the most popular ornament in this collection. I've published a video where I'm showing you all the supplies you need for this project and how to transfer the pattern onto fabric. In that video, the embroidery pattern is different from this one, but don't worry, the supplies and the process are the same for all the ornaments in this collection. This applies to the sewing and the stuffing process as well. If you are planning to create this ornament, you have to see that video first. Go ahead and watch that tutorial and then come back to this one to learn how to embroider this specific ornament. Hi there! It's Stella here from Why Not Stitches, and I am here to walk you through the entire process of creating this lovely ornament. This video comes in help if you are a total beginner and need a little bit of guidance to make sure you are on the right track. I've got a lot of messages from the community where people tell me how much they are enjoying crafting these ornaments. Now, I would love to know, what are you going to do with these ornaments? Are you going to decorate your home for Christmas or are you going to gift them? Just let me know in the comments below and I promise I will read all of them and then use them as motivation for my future craft projects. This is how the Holiday City pattern looks traced onto cotton fabric. I'm using a cross-stitch needle size 26 for all the stitches and this color palette. And here is how it looks when finished. Our goal today is to learn how to stitch all the elements on this pattern. Let's begin with this purple red in our palette. Cut a piece of thread and split it in half. All the elements on this embroidery are going to be stitched with 3 strands. First, I'm going to embroider the mom here, but you can begin with any element you want. I'm stitching her coat with satin stitch, and because the shapes are so tiny, I need to create just a few stitches to fill the body and a pair of stitches for the arms. I'm switching the color of the thread to stitch the lady's hair. Here it comes, a tiny shape filled with tiny satin stitches. Using the same color, I'm creating a pair of tiny satin stitches for each leg. Switching the color again, I'm stitching the lady's face. For that, I'm going to do 2 stitches and there is no problem if they overlap a little bit. This will create some nice volume. Now the child is even smaller in size, so for each arm and leg you need to do just 1 straight stitch. This child has a hat, and here we go creating even tinier stitches. I must say, this is turning out to be a quick process. I hope you got the idea by now. All these little people are going to be stitched the same way. I'll just stop talking and let you enjoy my process a little bit. But before that, I want to say one important thing. In this video, you can see how I often change the color of the threads. It's because I wanted to film the embroidering process person by person, but you can do it easier. Stitch color by color when it comes to the little people. That's all I wanted to say. This trick is a time saver. Hey, I'm back. Let me show you how I did the tree. I've been using the same way in my other patterns in this collection. What you see now is a row of back stitches that represent the stem of the tree. And for the branches, I'm using straight stitches. You can see how I go over the stem of the tree with some of my straight stitches. I'm doing this to cover the stem of the tree a little bit, just to create a natural effect. Next, we have this tree. The stem is also made with back stitches, while the branches are straight stitches, some longer than others. For the wall of the tiny house, I'm working a satin stitch. I love using satin stitch, but I hear there are a lot of you who are struggling with it. Is that true? Let me know and I'll see what I can do about that. Here I go with another tiny satin stitch for the door and straight stitches to represent the windows. As you can guess, the roof is also made with satin stitch. By the time you finish this embroidery, you are going to fall in love with satin stitch. At least I hope so. For the smoke, I'm using seed stitch. We are going to use this stitch a lot in this pattern. Just wait a little bit until we get there. Okay, now, let's stitch the snowman. I'm creating a padded satin stitch here to create a little volume. That means I'm overlapping a few stitches in the central area. It's like sculpting the shape a little bit. Same goes for the head. For the scarf, I'm using the purple red and making back stitches as I did for the people's scarves. I'm working the hat with black thread and tiny satin stitches. All of this in 3 strands as I said before. Next element in this pattern is the Christmas tree. I'm working long and short stitch. I'm not using this stitch often, but I really wanted this texture for the tree. Start from the top of the tree and place the first 3 stitches oriented like this. Then, place your next stitches in between your previous ones. The length of each stitch doesn't have to be the same. It's even recommended to have various lengths. Also, avoid splitting your previous stitches. Go with the needle in between existing stitches. As you go down to the bottom part of the tree, keep multiplying your stitches to fill the entire shape. I've tried to make the star on top of the tree with some overlapping stitches, but I didn't like how it turned out. So I came up with this idea. The star will be a gathering of tiny straight stitches. They should all meet in the center. To stitch the lights on the tree, I am making a few colonial knots. I'll stop talking again and let you watch what I'm doing. It's quite simple. And I'm back again. I just quickly want to show you how the embroidery looks without outlines, and that I'm going to stitch all the outlines with one strand of thread with backstitch with the same needle as before. This is how the embroidery looks with all the outlines. It's finished and it's time for you to watch that video where I'm showing you how to sew the heart by hand, how to stuff the heart and how to finish it. The link is of course below this video. I'm so excited to announce that I'll be designing a total of 8 patterns in this Christmas ornament collection. If you feel inspired, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button to be the first one to know when I publish a new tutorial. Thank you for staying with me till the end of this video. I love when you do that. Happy stitching and see you soon!